You're not afraid of the dark. You never have been. Darkness has never hurt a single human being. It has no weight, no temperature. It can't touch you, can't reach you, can't do anything at all. It is, by definition, nothing. The simple absence of light. And yet, something happens in your chest when the room goes black. Something old, something you didn't choose, and can't fully switch off. Here's the truth that explains all of it. You're not afraid of the dark. You're afraid of what your brain does the instant it can no longer see. The dark isn't a threat. It's a blindfold. And your brain refuses, absolutely refuses, to leave the space behind that blindfold empty. What it fills that space with is the thing you've been afraid of your whole life. And it has been doing it for 2 million years. Think about how strange this fear actually is. We're frightened of a condition that is, physically, harmless. You can't be cut by darkness. You can't be poisoned by it. Walk into a dark room, and nothing about the room has changed. The furniture is where it was. The walls are where they were. The only thing that's changed is you. Specifically, what you can no longer confirm. But here's what should stop you. This fear is universal. Every culture on Earth has it. Every child arrives with it, with no one teaching them. You don't have to explain to a toddler why the dark is frightening. They already know, before they have the words for it. Something that consistent across every human who has ever lived isn't a quirk. It isn't learned. It's installed. And to understand why, you have to understand what your brain is actually doing every second you're awake. Your brain is a prediction machine. That's the simplest accurate description of it. It is constantly building a model of the world around you. What's there, what's coming, what's safe, and the fuel it runs on is information. In daylight, it's flooded. Every object, every movement, every shadow accounted for and filed as harmless. Then the light goes out, and the flood stops. Now your brain has a model of the world with a hole torn through the middle of it, a space it cannot fill with data. And an empty space, to your brain, is the most intolerable thing there is, because empty doesn't feel like nothing is there. Empty feels like something is there, and I can't see it. So it makes a choice. It fills the void with the worst possibility it can generate. The predator, the intruder, the shape at the edge of the bed. And before you call that irrational, understand the math behind it. For 2 million years, a human who assumed the rustle in the dark was the wind, and was right, saved themselves a little fear. A human who assumed it was the wind, and was wrong, died, was eaten, removed from the gene pool entirely. But the one who assumed it was a predator and was wrong, they lost nothing but a moment of panic. They lived to be wrong 1,000 more times. So the brain that survived to become yours is the paranoid one. The one that fills the dark with monsters. Every ancestor in your line was a champion at being afraid of nothing. And that's not even the strangest part. Because the next question is, why us? Why are humans so much worse at this than almost everything else? The answer is in your eyes. Humans are daylight animals. We are built, top to bottom, for the day. Our vision is extraordinary in light, color, depth, fine detail, and almost useless without it. We never developed the night vision of the things that hunted us. We never developed the hearing or the smell that a nocturnal animal lives by. Which means that when the sun went down, our single greatest advantage, sight, didn't just weaken, it vanished. And at the exact same moment, the things that ate us were waking up. The leopard, the lion, the hyena, the snake. Predators whose entire bodies are tuned for the night we go blind in. For most of human history, after dark, we were not the most dangerous thing in the landscape. We were the prey, the slow, soft, night-blind prey. And we have the bones to prove it. There are sites where the fossils of our early ancestors are found inside the dens of big cats, hominids that were hunted, killed, and dragged into the dark to be eaten. Our ancestors didn't fear the night as a superstition. They feared it because the night had a body count, and they had watched it happen. So evolution did the only thing it could. It made the dark itself the trigger. Not the leopard. You'd never see the leopard in time. The darkness, the early warning. Fear the condition, and you brace before the thing that hides in it ever arrives. And that system did not retire. It's still running, right now, in you. You can watch it happen in a lab. Put a person in low light and their brain changes its behavior. The amygdala, the alarm center, climbs toward alert. The startle reflex sharpens. And here's the telling part. Show people an ambiguous shape, something that could be harmless or could be a threat, and in the dark they are far more likely to read it as dangerous. Same shape, same person. The only thing that changed was the light. That's not your imagination running away with you. That is a measurable shift. Your whole nervous system stepping down into survival mode the moment the visual data drops out. The fear you feel in a dark hallway isn't weakness. It's your brain doing precisely what it was built to do. Which finally explains the part of this that feels almost embarrassing. Why children feel it the hardest. The fear of the dark peaks in childhood. And that is not a coincidence, and it is not immaturity. Think about who, across all those millennia, was the most likely to die in the night. The child. The small one. The one who wandered a few steps too far from the fire, from the group, from the adults. For a prehistoric child, the dark beyond the firelight was the single most dangerous place in the entire world. So the fear is loudest, exactly when the body is smallest, and slowest, and most worth protecting. The nightlight, the checked closet, the blanket pulled up to the eyes. These look like a child being silly. They are actually a 2-million-year-old protection system, firing at full strength in a child who is, by every modern measure, completely, perfectly safe. The system can't tell the difference. It was never built to. It was built to be wrong 10,000 times rather than fail to fire the one time it mattered. And we never turned it off. We invented fire, and then candles, and then the electric light. We flooded the entire night with artificial day. And the fear didn't fade at all, because it was never about the darkness. It was about the one condition where a predator held every advantage and we held none. Where the most dangerous thing in the world could stand 3 feet away and we would never know until it moved. That's what your brain is bracing against, not the dark. The thing the dark could be hiding. The fear isn't a flaw in you, it's an inheritance. It's the ghost of every ancestor who survived the night by assuming the worst. And the ones who didn't feel it, the calm ones, the brave ones, they walked into the dark unafraid, and they never came back to pass anything on. You come from the frightened ones. That's the only reason you're here. So tonight, when you reach for the switch before the room goes black, when some quiet part of you doesn't want to turn around in the dark, understand what that is. That isn't a childish fear you failed to outgrow. That's 2 million years of survival, still watching the dark. Still keeping you alive.